Hey guys, so I just want to jump on here and talk to you about something. I've been hearing a lot and seeing a lot of things about, I want to talk to you about a couple things, but this is one thing I wanted to just clarify is that steroids, Anavar gear, whatever you want to, call it, a performance enhancer, it's not a magic pill, guys. It's not fake muscle. It's not, you still have to work out, you still have to eat right, you still have to do everything a natural does. The only benefit that it gives you is it allows you to recover faster. It allows you to train with more intensity. It basically makes you, half mortal, I guess you could call it. And it's not, people, I feel like bodybuilding gets a bad rap because of the fact that steroids are involved in the sport, but to get to the top level, sorry, I got cut off. Yeah, so all that stuff, it's not, I think, like I said, bodybuilding gets a bad rap because of the use of steroids, but to get to the top level, to compete professionally in like the Olympia or IFBB, you kind of have to take steroids. It's the name of the game. The dosing of steroids is, a completely different story. You go back to the 80s, the 70s, 80s, the golden era of bodybuilding when the physiques were classic, they were aesthetic. When you saw guys like that on the beach, you were like, wow, I want to look like that guy. When you see the guys today, it doesn't appeal to most people. Most people see, Phil Heath and the Wolf, and they don't want to look like that because it's just doesn't look right. Bodybuilding is about symmetry, it's about being proportioned, it's about being conditioned, it's about just having that classic physique like guys like Bob Paris and Rich Gaspari and Tom Platz and Serge Nubret and Steve Reeves, guys like that, Arnold. They had physiques that people wanted to achieve. They wanted to be that guy. They wanted to have bodies like Arnold's. And the guys today, they don't appeal to most people, and I agree completely. Once we hit the 90s with Dorian Yates, and don't get me wrong, I love Ronnie Coleman, guys. Ronnie Coleman is one of my favorites. But they were mass monsters, and from the 90s up until, now it's just gotten out of control. It's gotten not to take anything away from those guys who work hard. Kai Green's one of my favorite too. I love Kai Green, but I think we just need to get a handle on it, on how far. Like, I know that we can push our bodies. Obviously, you've seen those guys can push their bodies, way beyond the limits, and that's because compared to back in the day, they didn't take as much steroids as the guys today do, and that's why they look like that. And I think bodybuilding in itself it hurts itself. I was browsing the TV the other night, and I saw the CrossFit Games were on ESPN, and at first I got a little mad about it. I was like, it really bugs me. They'll show the CrossFit Games on ESPN, the sports channel, but they won't show bodybuilding. And then I thought about it, and I was like, well, you know what? Bodybuilding is really an art. It's an art form. The way you pose, the way you train, it's all, getting the little, scribbling in the little details and the muscles, and, it's like sculpting. It's not, it's competitive, but, if people want to watch CrossFit, and people want to do CrossFit, that's up to you. And that's like I said, I thought about it, and it really, I really sat back and I was thinking about all those bodybuilders from the 80s, or the 70s and the 80s, and you know, that's really what I that's really what I transpire to be. You know, it's not, bodybuilding isn't all about being, oh, this fucking asshat just cut me off. Bodybuilding isn't about being the strongest. It's not about lifting the most weight, pushing the most weight, who has the best bench press, who has the biggest squat. You know, they have their own thing for that. That's powerlifting. Bodybuilding is all about, you know, full range of motion, contraction. It's the little stuff that you don't see until you get on stage and it really pops out. Working those little muscles so you have that definition, and you have the bicep peaks and the rear delts, they pop out, and you know, that's what bodybuilding's about. It's an art, and I'm okay with it. Not at first I was a little mad, but I'm okay with it not being on ESPN, just because of the fact that obviously you don't show art on ESPN. But in a way, I think bodybuilding holds itself back because of the amount of steroids that the guys take nowadays. Is, you know, people are like, oh, I can do that with steroids. You know, anybody can do that with steroids. No, you can't. You can't do that. You can't just take steroids and automatically get big. It's not synthol. Synthol is injected. It's synthetic. It's fake. Steroids isn't like that, guys. It's in, you know, you can take it orally or you can inject it, yes, but it doesn't, it's not instantaneous. It's not gonna make you just have big biceps just like that. Like, you still have to do everything right. You have to be perfect and consistent for weeks and months and, you know, years to get, you know, a great physique. And that's the thing that a lot of people have, that's the problem a lot of people have with bodybuilding is, you know, they see football and baseball and they're like, oh, you know, they took these steroids and, you know, they're obviously way better than everybody else, you know, Barry Bonds and people like that. But, you know, you still have to put in the work, guys. It's not magic. You don't just take steroids and go home and sit on the couch, eat a bag of potato chips, watch Netflix, and automatically get big muscles. It's not how it works. And it makes me it frustrates me sometimes when people do that. They say those kinds of things, really put bodybuilders down. And I think when people say, they see you and they're like, oh, you must be on steroids, oh, you must be on gear, you must be on something. A lot of people see that as a compliment, and I see that as an insult, because they're saying that you can't achieve what you have naturally. You know what I mean? They're saying that, you know, you're not able to reach that you know, your potential without taking something. So when people say, oh, you know, he's on steroids, this and that, it's not, I don't see it as a compliment, guys. I see it as an insult, because they're, you know, they're insulting me. They're saying that I can't achieve this, you know, everything I have without steroids, and that's a lie, because, you know, I have achieved everything naturally. But for other guys out there, you know, just don't judge. You know, don't judge guys who have great physiques. Know what you're talking about first before you go and you just start, you know, throwing shade at people, saying that they're on this and they're on that. Like, that's an insult, guys, to say that you can't achieve, you can't push your body to its absolutely natural limits. Before, you know, I think that's the best way to do it, is to see how far you can push your body naturally and then take something, and to see how far you can really go. Try to put it into context for you guys. Everybody knows Dragon Ball Z, right? You know, everybody loves Goku and, you know, those guys. What do you think those guys, you know, what do you think those guys do when they go Super Saiyan? You think it's just, you know, that's basically saying that, you know, they're taking something to reach that next level. It's kind of like a metaphor. And everybody loves that, but then they hear steroids and they're like, oh no, like, You know, I don't respect him because he takes steroids or he takes this. It's kind of a double-edged sword because just, I don't know, people, guys, they really bug me. Some of you guys out there, you know, claiming natty that aren't natty, and I'm not throwing shade at anybody. I'm saying that I respect people who take stuff because I know the work they have to put in as a natural bodybuilder. I know the work that has to be done and the work that they put into their physiques. It's when people claim natty and they're not, you know, that's when shade starts getting thrown around, is when, you know, people are claiming they're natural when they're, you know, taking something behind closed doors. And believe it or not, it happens a lot, you know, in the industry. And that's another reason why, you know, we get a bad rap, or bodybuilding in itself gets a bad rap. And it really frustrates me, guys, because it makes it hard for the naturals like myself and others out there. It makes it hard for us to progress. And it progress in the eyes of other people that don't do this. They, you know, they just don't get it. And I mean, that's okay. I understand if they don't understand, but you have to respect the hustle and the work and the grind and everything that goes into it. You have to respect. I don't care if you don't respect somebody because they take something, but you have to respect their hustle, guys. Absolutely. Like I said before, it's not magic. Bottom line, it's not magic. And I think that we should go back to physiques, you know, the golden era, because it's just, you know, it's not about being the biggest. It's not about, people are always like, oh, well, you know, why don't you be be big, or, you know, people are like, oh, I want to be a monster. Well, I don't think monsters win. I think streamlined physiques win. Or maybe they don't. Nowadays, I think in bodybuilding, you know, depending on the show you go to, sometimes that's all they want to see, is they want to see who's the biggest, who has the biggest, you know, back or whatever. But they don't really care about being conditioned and, you know, symmetry, and they don't care about the little details, and that's what I care about. So for any of you guys out there that, you know, you go to a show and you come in, you know, second next to a guy who's might be on something, or you're a natural show and you come into a guy who the judges thought were better than you, don't be disappointed, guys. As long as you brought your best physique and that you brought the physique that you want and that you think is, you know, don't bring the physique that you think the judges want to see. Bring the physique that you want to bring. Because in the end, you know, you can go home with second place, you know, and that sucks, obviously. But, you know, in your head, deep down, you know that you had the bodybuilding physique. You had that, you know, that it factor that the judges may have overlooked, but, you know, your rear delts were there, you know, all the little cuts in your legs, you know, and the back, they were all there, and it was perfect, you know, and you lost to somebody who just, you know, cared about being big and didn't care about being shredded. So yeah, just a little tidbit for you guys. I've been seeing a lot. Like I said, I saw the CrossFit Games on TV the other night, and it really kind of ruffled my feathers at first, but then I thought about it, and, you know, I've been looking up to the guys from the 80s for a long time now, and just the way, you know, they had it down to a science. They just knew their body. They ate based on, you know, how they were feeling that day or what they weighed in. You know, if they weighed a little bit over, then they drop their calories, they weighed a little bit under, and then, you know, they eat just based on... Camera's running out of room. So yeah, just let that resonate with you guys and just let it sit and think about it. And go look back at, if you haven't, you know, if you're new to this and you only know about Phil Heath and Kai Green and guys like that, go back and look at the guys from the 80s, you know. And they really, you know, they set a standard that, you know, regular guys wanted to aspire to be like. I recently just found a guy on YouTube, Callum Von Moger. If you guys don't know about him, go check him out. You know, he has the same thought process I do, and he's open about his steroid use, but he doesn't talk about it because he doesn't want to promote it. And, you know, I think that's a really good thing for the industry, is you know, tell people that yes, you can have this physique if you take something. You know, you can have this physique, but don't hide it. You know, be open about it when people ask you. You know, it's like I said before, it's the people that, you know, they're like, oh, you can achieve this body naturally, and they're really taking something behind closed doors. And that's just, you know, it takes years and years and years of training and dieting and bulking and cutting, and just, you know, it's a cycle, and that's why people call it a lifestyle, because it is a lifestyle. It's all you know for a really long time. You know, every time I step on stage, you know, whatever I bring to the show, it isn't a product of just dieting for a few months. It's the product of years and years and years of hard work and working on the little things, you know. Like Ronnie Coleman said, always sweat the little things. So, yeah, I just feeling some type of way, guys. I just got back from a bicep workout. I did abs and a little bit of traps. So